Welcome everyone. It is time for another episode of Old Roommates. This week on the show, we revisit Strange Brew from 1983, eh? So, grab yourself a bottle of beer, make sure there's no little mouse in there, and then sit back and relax because Old Roommates is about to begin.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Brian.
And this is Christina.
And today we are revisiting Strange Brew. This came out in August of 1983, which, if my calendar on the wall is correct, means it's 40 years old.
Almost exactly.
This
oh
year.
My gosh.
Written by Rick Moranis, Dave Thomas, and Mr. D.G. Jordan. I didn't write his first name down. I apologize. And directed by Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas. This is their gig.
This is
Christina, we begin as we always do. Of course, this is an SCTV spun-off characters. Mm-hmm. We begin as we always do by talking about then. I'm dying to hear your relationship with Strange Brew.
Okay, I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we revisited this movie.
Yeah.
This movie, for some reason, my sister and I would watch this movie and crack up at this movie. Like, laugh our asses off. I'm pretty sure we were probably stoned or something watching it.
Jesus, how old were you?
I mean, I was in my 20s.
Okay.
83. I mean, I was probably, well.
You were not in your 20s in
okay.
83. You were, oh my God, you were a teenage drug addict.
Well, this is video, so it was probably
okay.
a few years later. But anyway, we loved this movie. We cracked up at this movie so much. And I feel like we rented it a million times. I just thought it was hilarious. I will say, I didn't like the skaters. That and the music, the organ music and stuff, that creeped me out a bit. But aside from that, I thought this movie was drop down hilarious. Cracking up over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Brian?
Christina, this is so funny. I swear to God, same. My sister and I really remember this. Like, I think it was on cable a lot, and we would rent it.
Yeah.
And laughing out loud, quoting
hilarious.
The lines, calling everyone hosehead
right.
and hoser. Laughing and giggling and thinking every single day, like doing like, I don't know why these characters were so appealing. When I was young, loved them. And like, so when this came up, and this, I want to say, we were inspired to do this episode because Canada keeps popping up on our charts as the last, I think, 3 months we've been in the top 100 of film review podcasts.
It's amazing.
In Canada.
Amazing.
I mean, there's 9 million podcasts, okay? Like, the fact that we're in the top 100 of any category always blows my mind. So, Canada, thank you so much. We were inspired.
Yes, thank you so much.
Inspired to do this.
We appreciate all of you.
So, now we will dive into... Now, when did you rewatch this?
So I rewatched it actually a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay.
So my husband wanted to rewatch it with me. He was all excited about it. So of course, sometimes that puts a little bit of a pause on when I'm able to watch it. So I'm like, okay, we have to watch it. We have to watch it.
Yeah.
So, and I will say, we had some beverages.
Okay.
And so we had a couple of margaritas. So I was like, look, we have to watch this movie tonight. We can't put it off again because I don't know when we're going to be able to have a chance to do this again. So we put it on, and so I was a bit tired. Mm-hmm. You know, it was just one of those things. It was like a Friday night, and I was just a little tired. So my mind was not quite where it was when I used to watch this movie. But we started watching it, and I completely forgot about the whole beginning part where they're sitting there and they're doing their show, and they're showing, they're about to show a movie. I forgot all of that stuff, which I thought was really funny and creative the way they did it. But also, I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my God, is this funny?
Yeah.
What did I get myself into? What is happening right now? I had to get in that mindset, I guess. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I mean, it was different. It was different. Let's hear how your initial thoughts were on
I think
the
I know what
rewatch.
you're doing to me right now. You're setting me up.
Why?
Because I think you want me to say something negative.
No, I have all my notes.
Knowing that Canada is listening.
I have all my notes here.
Okay,
so
fine.
you can say whatever you want to. It's not going to change.
I laughed when the MGM lion belched.
Oh,
Okay.
I forgot about that. And that was that? Was that the first? Was that the first and last time you laughed?
I think this movie, through a middle-aged lens, wow, because I felt exactly the same way with the beginning. I was like, oh shit, is this the movie? Like, all the, hoser, we shot in 3B, 3 beers. I'm getting whiplash from my burps. And, however, because I was like, so I'm like, oh my God, but you totally get that this was Wayne's World before Wayne's World.
1000%.
This is Beavis and Butthead.
That's what I wrote. The original Wayne's World.
Absolutely. Yep. This is Beavis and Butthead before Beavis and Butthead. I mean, this is truly like, this is like this iconic creation that I think a lot of, further sketch comedy got inspired by.
Yes.
And there's no way you could deny it. And so so don't deny it, Christina, okay?
I'm not denying a
kidding,
damn thing. There's no denying it, you hoser.
So, but then something happened when they started running from the moviegoers, and I was like, angry moviegoers, and I thought, oh my God, I could get behind this. Like how I couldn't effing remember the plot.
Right, I couldn't either.
But I do remember them being in danger, and I was like, oh, this must be what it is. Like they're on the run and they must hide out somewhere. Now I'm remembering the movie, and I was wrong. That's not what happens at all.
That was not what happens at all.
So they basically outrun the moviegoers. They go home. They give the dog a beer. They end up
trying to get the father.
The dad wanted them to get his beer. They didn't because they gave the money to this sad family. The kids were very disappointed with how bad the movie was. So they gave the family the money. Now they don't have money. So they decide to put a mouse in a beer bottle, and they're going to go and say, hey, we need free beer. There's a mouse in this beer bottle. So, oh God. So they bring the bottle. The guy's like, listen, this is not our problem. You need to go to the manufacturer or the brewery. The brewery is, I feel like I need to say the plot because this is a big negative for me. This is a big negative.
Yep.
This movie at 86 minutes is like so overwritten. It reminded me a little of Three Amigos in some ways.
Oh, yes.
Where you have these funny, odd characters, but the movie is so plot heavy, they're not even allowed to be themselves. For long periods of time, they're not even in the movie, Christina.
That's right. And I would even struggle to even tell what the plot was because it was so all over the place.
It was. And there was like supernatural red lights that show murders and ghosts and the lasers and the stormtroopers and mind control.
And we don't understand even why, right? I mean, was there ever like a real reason why?
At one point, I swear to God, I don't know who this person is. They're in the van and then suddenly there's this guy in there with a bandage around his head who I guess he was the friend of the guy that was murdered. I'm like, this movie is so complicated. It's so complicated.
It didn't need to be as
It did not need to be this heavy. The daughter of the owner that discovered the secret was murdered. Sorry, the daughter wasn't murdered. The guy was. But it's like the brewmeister played by Max von Sydow. I don't know why he's part of this thing. Paul Dooley. I don't know why he's part of this thing. I mean, Carl started watching. He's like, oh, it's Paul Dooley. No, I'm sorry. That was never mind. So no. Did he say that? And then I think he left. But Paul Dooley's in this for some reason. I honestly don't know what's going on right now. And I was sober.
Yes.
And I was like, the van is sinking and I'm completely lost what we're watching right now.
That's where it loses me too. It's like, they frame them for murdering.
Yeah.
They like.
But then try and kill them. So it's
but they didn't kill them.
Yeah.
I don't know why they just didn't kill them because they could clearly kill the other guy. But she ends up in a mental institution, and then all of a sudden she's better, and they're framing them, but then they don't know they're being framed. But what are they being framed for? We don't know. And then there's this whole thing with like the mental institution, and
oh my god, that was terrible. That did not age
horrible.
well at all.
That did not age well at all.
And because is it the mental institution? The folks in the mental institution, are those the ones in those costumes?
Those are the ones that are
and they're
dressed
beating
up.
each other up. And that's the other thing. That sequence was so boring. They had
used to
so much fun. It used to be scary. Now
It used
it's
to
boring.
be scary, and now it's like nothing.
They could have had so much fun with those ice skaters, and it was so lame. And it's even lamer because the very thing. So they're the goalies, Bob and Doug. They're the goalies. The same sequence of events that happens to Bob happens to Doug. I'm like, they couldn't think of another moment because it wasn't funny either time.
Yeah.
And I wrote, the movie is so whacked out. It's both fast paced and boring at the same time.
It's bizarre.
It's really weird.
Really bizarre. And you're absolutely right about, because I couldn't put my finger on it. I'm like, what is going on with this movie? Like, why am I feeling overwhelmed with this little ditty called Strange Brew? Like, why am I getting so overwhelmed? And you're absolutely right. It was so completely overwhelmed. It went so many different places.
Yeah.
Everywhere you could possibly imagine. Sci-fi. And then
it's supernatural.
Oh my God. And then it's like the whole beer tank.
Yes.
And almost drowning.
And he drinks all the beer.
And
but
somehow they survive in the car, in the van, underneath the water. And and then somehow they're all like forgiven. And oh my God. And then the dog. And I mean, it was just everywhere. However, I will say.
Yes.
Here we go.
I have a couple positives. That
was crazy. I will say I definitely enjoyed the chemistry between the two of them.
Yes.
I laughed several times with those. And it took me a bit. Like, you have to really get in the mindset of this movie. You can't look into this movie as like an intellectual. Like, you just can't. You have to really appreciate the back and forth and just they're so dumb and they're just kind of like waddling through this place just wanting beer. Like, that's all they want in life is just they just want some beer. Their whole mission and everything they're doing is to get more beer. So just that whole concept of it is so funny to me, which is why it's so disappointing that all this other stuff was there. If they got rid of 70% of this plot, 70%, and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
It would have been funny. It would have held my attention.
It needed to breathe. The word disappointing is dead on. It needed to breathe. It needed more time with these characters and less time with the mad scientist and the daughter of the owner. Well, yeah, she was an orphan. Or the daughter of the owner, the supernatural ghost and the red light. And
then you have the little love story in there, too.
My plus is... I did, because maybe it was more nostalgia. Like when Rick Moranis, I just gave Rick Moranis like an A. I thought he was so cute and
adorable.
Funny and so committed to his character.
Yes.
And he was funny. And then when he drank all the beer, the only thing I thought was missing with that was like, that's a funny visual that he's so big. And I remember that as being a kid. Like that's what you remember.
Funny, yes.
Right? But what's funny is he also drank his own urine because he was peeing in the beer. Remember? Right. She's like, is it warm? He's like, I don't feel anything. And so, but it was never a joke. I feel like there was a missed opportunity. Like he drank his own pee. Is that weird? Yes.
There were a lot of missed opportunities because there was so many other things going on.
But I liked the dog as the skunk. I thought it was so stupid and I loved it.
It was so stupid.
I loved it.
So I kind of nailed this movie. I'm like, so this is basically, all in all, this movie is a children's movie with drunk protagonists.
Oh, okay.
An elementary school age children, but the heroes are drunks. Yeah. So I think that's why it's just such a weird thing because they're drinking because you kind of feel like it's for adults. It is a PG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's kind of funny to think that it's a children's movie, but like everyone's drunk in it and it circles around beer, but. Can't you see that? Like, isn't it like...
Yes, but then
it's like
plot...
a Disney movie with... Well, no, aside from all that...
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying overall.
I guess it has an Escape to Witch Mountain aesthetic.
Yeah, I can see that.
The creepy guy on the hill in the castle, and they're using their drunken powers.
Did you laugh at the donuts? The lady with the information with the donuts?
Oh, when they're, giving her donuts.
So that didn't age very well either, but I did laugh.
Yeah. I thought that was cute. And that's all my notes. Do you have any more notes?
I don't have a whole lot more.
Okay.
I did think, who said it? Though the Colonel's dead, but we are still enjoying his chicken.
Yeah, I thought
that was
cute.
funny.
Yeah.
There were a couple of really cute lines in there. I got some Laverne and Shirley vibes.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was exciting for me. And I did say just the acting, aside from those two main characters, I felt like the acting was just abysmal.
Oh. Yeah.
Like, just the girl. By the way, she was supposed to just turn 21.
I had that same note.
Ouch. Ouch, ouch. But I enjoyed the antics, and the stupidity was funny without all the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just so stupid you had to laugh.
I really go back to the earlier thing, and they should have just kept it where they were on the run from these angry moviegoers. How funny would that be? They have to hide out. They hide out, or they change their disguise. They're trying to pass themselves off as different people. Like, there's so many other things they could have done.
They could have even hid out in the brewery, right?
Yeah, right.
Like, I mean, any of that stuff.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the one more thing.
Yeah.
was when they have the court date, so there's like a whole court date in this too, right? And they're walking up the steps, and the press is coming, and the lawyer's like, "It's the press, I'll handle it."
Oh my God! And he beats them up.
I thought
I wrote that down.
He beats everybody, the shit out of everybody, and then there's one lady standing. I mean, it's just completely outrageous.
I thought I wrote that down. I didn't write it.
I did.
That was a plus too. Yeah. So my pluses were Rick Moranis, the dog is the skunk, in the beginning, the funny parts of the moviegoers, and then that beating up the press.
Yes.
There's. I mean, it wasn't. It was pretty bad, but again, I'm sticking to. I do think it was because there wasn't enough of them.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I agree. And I will say, I gotta really fess up here. I did end up falling asleep a little bit in the middle of the movie. And I don't think I missed anything.
Christina, we get bad.
Just a little bit. It wasn't much. But, I mean...
It's The Shining all over. Are you comparing Strange Brew to The Shining?
Yes, I am. I sure am.
Which one did you enjoy more? All right, trivia. Budget was $4 million. Box office was $8.5 million.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if this is true, but everything I read said this is loosely based on Hamlet. I did not read Hamlet. Did you?
I don't know. No, that's funny.
Perhaps that's true. It seems true. I don't know how, but sure.
No.
I mean, it was a few different. It was in a few different trivia pages. Yeah.
Doesn't have to do. I'm not going to even embarrass myself because I'll mess up the Shakespeare plays.
Yeah, I'm thinking Macbeth, but I think it's I think it's at Hamlet. So then, so the big question: more,
oh God,
less, or about the same?
I gotta say less. I mean, honestly, I feel like I enjoyed it more than I expected to be honest.
Oh, really?
Well, only because I wasn't sure how it would translate.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a bad statement, maybe, but I'm happy that I still enjoyed the interactions between the two of them. And I'm mostly just disappointed that there's so much fluff in the middle. There's just so much going on in the middle that I couldn't really... If we took out the middle part, like all those crazy plot things, I think I would say I liked it just the same.
Yeah, interesting.
So it's disappointing in that sense.
I also think the ending is a little weak because they don't really save the day. They help save the day. Right. And I think a better movie would be them like rising to the occasion and like saving the whole brewery or saving her or whatever. And that doesn't you don't even get that satisfaction. Right. And the dog mostly saves the day.
The dog is the hero.
The dog's the hero. The dog is definitely Hosehead. Is
it Hosehead or Hoser?
I think it's Hosehead. I think they call each other Hoser, but the dog is Hosehead. I believe that's true. Okay, so I have a match game.
I also have a match game.
Should I go first?
Yes, why don't you go first?
Oh God, here we go. And by the way, I don't even have an answer yet, so I think I'm just gonna, Hosehead, the dog, actually developed a drinking... This is stupid.
Good, Hosehead, the dog, along with it.
Actually developed a drinking problem.
Oh.
Yeah. Nowadays, he's not barking at the neighbor's cat. He's blanking it. I'm going dumb. I just want to warn you.
Okay. Ding.
Ding. All right. The dog's drunk, and nowadays he's not barking at the neighbor's cat. He's blanking it.
He's burping at it.
Oh, that's cute. I wrote drunk texting. I wrote drunk dialing. I changed to texting.
Drunk dialing. Oh my gosh.
All right, let's hear yours.
All right. So Brian,
Yeah.
they have developed a brand new show on Broadway.
Oh.
Based on Strange Brew.
Oh my God.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
I know. I'm really excited. So, and the musical numbers are, just like everyday songs, almost like a Mamma Mia. They take and they incorporate it.
Sounds great.
Their show-stopping number is blank.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Give it some thought.
All right.
Their show-stopping, so it's Strange Brew.
Yeah.
The musical.
Thank you.
Their show-stopping number.
Odd. I have like 3 answers. They're all
then
bad.
write
All right,
one
fine. Dang, I don't know.
All right. The new musical Strange Brew has a show-stopping number, and it is called...
Oh shit! I wrote the wrong one. It's fine. So, I got friends in low places.
That's good.
But I meant to write I love this bar. I was getting the country songs
Oh,
confused.
good.
I love this
That's
bar.
good too.
Yeah.
I wrote Red Solo Cup.
What the hell is that?
Red Solo Cup, I fill you up.
What is
Let's
that?
have a party. You don't know that song? It's a country song too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those were
Or
all
I was
country
going to do
songs.
Alcohol by Brad Paisley too.
I was going to do
Alcohol.
Raise Your Glass by Pink. But it's like too...
See, there's all kinds.
There's a
There's a
few.
few.
Well, that,
Very good.
friends, and by the way, I did
In
rent
low
that. I had to rent
places.
that, yeah, and I did have to rent Strange Brew
I had
from the
to
library.
also,
It's
yeah.
hard to find. But that was Strange Brew. And that's it for us and for this episode of Old Roommates.
Thank you for listening. Please remember to follow us on Instagram or YouTube, where we have our episodes as well as a little extra.
And if you have any questions about our show, any suggestions for movies we could revisit, reach out to us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com.
Thanks again for listening.
This is Brian.
And this is Christina. Until next time.